Yeah, loud and clear.
Hello. Yeah, we can hear you.
Great. Welcome to AppliedHE Xchange Pakistan. My name is Mandy Mock and I am the founder and CEO of AppliedHE. AppliedHE is the new kid on the block as an international higher education service provider that specializes in evaluation, branding, and professional networking solutions. I started AppliedHE in January this year after working for QS for 17 years. Thank you very much for joining us in this special of AppliedHE Xchange Pakistan, sharing international best practices in managing COVID-19 for the higher education sector. Leading today's discussion is also the initiator of this webinar, Professor Syed Amir Gilani, who is the Dean of Allied Health Sciences at the University of Lahore, Pakistan, and also AppliedHE Country Director for Pakistan. Thank you, Professor Gilani, for all your efforts in arranging this seminar. Thanks also to our international speakers from the Republic of Korea, Taiwan, Australia, and Thailand, whom Professor Gilani will shortly introduce to you in more details. But first, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the University of Lahore for supporting this webinar. As always, it is a pleasure and a privilege to partner with you on exciting new initiatives like these. Now, without further ado, allow me to hand over to the very capable Professor Gilani.
Thank you very much, Mandy. Assalamu alaikum to everyone and good afternoon. Welcome to today's webinar. It is on international best practices in managing COVID-19 for the higher education sector. I am Professor Dr. Syed Amir Gilani, working as Dean Faculty of Allied Health Sciences at the University of Lahore in Pakistan. And I will be your moderator for this webinar. First of all, I would like to thank the management and especially the CEO, Ms. Mandy, of AppliedHE, which is a Singapore-based, world-renowned higher education rating organization. Thanks to all the speakers for sparing their time and to share their knowledge and experience regarding this topic. And thanks to all attendees from Pakistan, including two of the vice chancellors, rectors, few people from representing the Higher Education Commission of Pakistan, and a representative from Punjab Higher Education, Lahore. I'm thankful to our friends from outside Pakistan also, like Professor Dr. Ahmad Abdul Rahim, who is the Dean of College of Radiological Sciences at Al-Zaim Al-Azhari University, Khartoum, Sudan. And Dr. Ibrahim, he is consultant at one of the hospitals in Hargeisa in Somalia. There are a few of our friends from UAE and Kingdom of Saudi Arabia whose names are visible. So welcome to all of them. Let me talk about the speakers. These are few people who are renowned in their fields, in their countries. They have international exposures. And today we will have first presentation from Mr. Kim from Korea. Then second presentation is from Professor Lee, who is from Taiwan. Third will be Mr. Trong from Australia. And fourth is Mr. Mokhon Well. He is from Thailand. Discussion and question answers, and then will be the closing remarks. Hopefully, it will be 5 minutes. If we look at the scenario, we have to see that what is happening in
Professor Gilani, are you with us? We lost you for a second.
So after it was diagnosed in the second week of March. Till then, we have 2 lakh. Can you hear? So the total cases which were reported were 2,0660 in Pakistan. And there were 6,097 deaths till to date. There are critical cases 776 and recovered deaths in 24 hours were 15 and cases reported in last 24 hours are 539. So still there are some cases which are reported. And the last point is that some of the universities in Pakistan were successful in establishing online programs, online lectures, and having their own softwares. But there were few which had some deficiencies and failures. Pakistan Higher Education Commission was very cooperative in all stages, and they given very nice SOPs. And we know that it will be the universities will be open from 15th of September 2020, most probably in 2 to 3 phases with strict standard operating procedures. So we need to know about the scenarios and how they tackled in their countries from these speakers. Our invited renowned international speakers, they will be sharing. So first of all, I would like to invite Mr. Kim from Republic of Korea for his presentation. Mr. Kim is a renowned professor from the Kyonghee University, Republic of Korea. So mic is with you, Mr. Kim, please.
Professor Gilani, thank you very much. Mandy, thank you. Is everybody able to see this?
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, so I would like to share the experience quite briefly about South Korea and about Kyunghee University. You can see in the picture, there's a couple who is taking a picture. I think COVID has really influenced a lot and is including taking photos, selfies. You know, nowadays the students are taking selfies with their masks. Okay, briefly on the situation in Korea, we have 14,000 confirmed cases. Around 13,000 have been released from isolation, and testing in Korea is around 1.6 million. You can say that after China, we were one of the countries that was the most severely hit at that time, and in the part of March was when we suffered the most. Okay, brief introduction about Kyunghee is that we have 3 campuses, 23 colleges. Among them, we have 83 departments and 16 graduate schools in social science area, engineering, physical education, international language. You can say that we have almost all of the areas of studies. So for undergraduate students, we have 26,000, and for graduate students, we have 4,600. Okay, so what happened? What experience do we have in the spring semester? Spring semester was from March until July. Graduation ceremony, freshman ceremony, student orientations were all canceled. At the beginning, we had a very hard time because we kind of delayed the opening of the semester. But now in the second semester, we're not thinking about delaying, but starting with a mixture from the very first day. So at this first semester, we had online teaching, quiz homeworks from March. And for mid-examination, we had assignments, and face-to-face teaching was decided by professors from April. And the final examinations were decided by the professors. It could be classrooms or online. And we had to extend the period to 2 weeks for them to safely be separated within the classrooms when they took the examinations. Okay. One of the first steps the university did was we established a control tower, which was headed by our president, and we were supported by the Gyeonggi Medical Center. And then all of the buildings were limited to one entrance and one exit, and all, including students, professors, staff members, had to check their temperature with a non-contact thermal, and they had to clean their hands with the hand sanitizer. So we were very heavily hit with our teaching methods, and we kind of struggled and had difficulties with online teaching methods. So our Center for Teaching and Learning, they really work hard to teach our professors by workshops and seminars on the teaching methods. And also we had to provide our studio for recording of the courses, and we had to increase the capability of our server. Then this quality issue came around us, and we had problems, and we improved it with the feedback from the student body and the university newspaper. Okay, so when we allowed people to enter our buildings, for non-ID card holders, you have to write your name, cell phone number, purpose of visit, who you meet, check-in and out on the log. And temperature checkpoints were set up at all of the major university buildings. This is how it looks. Okay, and then for our staff members, we had telecommunication administration for a few months. And also we had to provide extra support system for our outbound students. So this is one of the setups that we had in the main administration building. First, when you enter, you can see on the table that we had hand sanitizers, and we had a machine who checked the temperature of everybody who entered. And then if an alarm came out, if this kind of beeped red, then we would use the non-contact temperature to check on them. Okay, and this is our student cafeteria. As you can see that generally, we would have students sit on both sides of the table facing each other. But with the layout here, you can see that all of the setting is on one side. And also there was a distance between the student who sat side by side. This is another picture of a round table. Originally, around 4 students would sit on one round table, but you can see here that we only place one seat. Okay, so what are the things that will be happening for our fall semester? We have decided to offer courses both online and in person. So it kind of blending will be also be available, and the final decision will be made by the students and the professors. So courses that are taken by more than 20 students will be mainly offered online, but some professors, they can do in person. So online courses will be offered as a recorded or live streaming version, and we tell our students to make sure to check and confirm with your professors. So courses which contain experiment and practical will be offered in person. So generally the SOP will be, you have to have a mask on, you have to have some social distance in between with the other students and with your professors. So every course is required to state the lecture method, online, in person, or blended in the syllabus. and all courses will be offered in compliance with distance in daily life regulation of the Korean CDC. So you can say that masks are mandatory and all regulations are subject to change. So this is a picture of disinfecting one of our facilities on campus. So at Gyeonggi, our university remains open with precautionary measures to protect our students, professors, staffs, and local community. And we're maintaining a high degree of flexibility to achieve academic and research success. So please stay safe and stay strong. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. Professor Kim was talking about his experience. Now I will invite the next speaker, who is Professor Min-Jo Lee from Chung Christian University, Taiwan. Professor Lee, the mic is with you, please.
Oh,
Yes, we can hear you.
so
Go
you
ahead.
could, okay. Thank you, Professor Galani. Thank you, Mandy. And let me, wait, sorry for that. This is not, well, can you give me 1 second? I need to,
Sure.
yeah. I'm sorry, I thought that's the latest one, but obviously I'm wrong. The latest one here, yes. Okay. Good afternoon and good evening, everyone. My name is Min-Yu Lee, and from Office of Global Engagement of CJCU in Taiwan. Come back to the COVID-19 epidemic. At the moment, the total confirmed case worldwide has reached 19.8 million, and the death toll is over 730,000. Well, I checked the confirmed cases last Monday, and it was 18.2 million worldwide. While today, the number goes up to 19.8. The increased 1.5 million indicates the COVID-19 epidemic has not ended yet. Well, in Taiwan, the confirmed cases until now is 480 and total 7 deaths. As one of the closest country to China, Taiwan has been forecasted to be one of the world's worst hit country by COVID-19 in the world. However, Taiwan's response to COVID-19 is one of the best globally. Taiwan has no local infected cases for months. I think our painful past experience of SARS in 2003 helps us lay a solid foundation for the containment of COVID-19. Overall, let me use Taiwan's former vice president, who is also an epidemiologist, Dr. Chen Jianren's words. Prudent action, rapid response, and early deployment are the 3 key points of the success of COVID-19 control in Taiwan. Taiwan's health officials haven't had a day off since the beginning of the epidemic. They have had daily press conference to report on the situation. They've been making the information as transparent as possible to build the trust between the government and the people. I personally think that it is because of this trust to the government that we could do well on the epidemic prevention in Taiwan. The health official also quickly prohibited mask exports and protest machines to produce masks to ensure the local supply. They also make policies to guide people how they should behave to protect themselves and announce new punishment for spreading disinformation about the virus. From the photo, you could see how Taiwanese people maintain appropriate social distance in public areas, and people wear masks while taking public transportation. We even utilize transparent petition to block each other in restaurants or offices. We've tried hard to keep our life as normal as possible. And the mask rationing plan is the measure of the first attempt to cope with the shortage of the virus containment resources at the beginning of the epidemic, cooperating with our health insurance plan. Taiwan government implemented the policy for people to purchase the masks by names. At the beginning, we could only buy 2 masks per week. Then we apply smart technology to develop the online e-mask ordering system to reduce the inconvenience of mask purchase. And then we are able to buy 3 in 7 days. And couples of months later, we're allowed to purchase 9 masks in 14 days. At the same time, our Taiwan team increased the mask produced a lot. Therefore, we're able to provide more assistance to our international partners. And also, every Taiwan citizen could purchase masks from physical and online stores. Recently, because of the good epidemic prevention in Taiwan, where we are thinking how to gradually lift the restriction of the border and welcome people enter into Taiwan, Taiwan government also advocates the post-COVID-19 new life movement to Taiwanese people. It plans to maintain steady domestic epidemic control and facilitate the recovery of people's normal life and business and industrial operations in a safe condition. The guidelines strengthen the necessity of wearing masks and maintaining social distance, the importance of personal hygiene and full sterilization, and the adoption of the contact-based policy in all gathering activities and operations to enhance the transparency of overall epidemic controls and raise the public trust. The government promotes this movement by making the guidelines announcement in multilingual version for people from different countries are able to understand and like to work together with Taiwan government to prevent the domestic epidemic. And Central Epidemic Commander also has created 2 figures in the propaganda to communicate policies to the public. One is our CECC commander, Dr. Chen Shizhong, who is also the Minister of the Health and Welfare of Taiwan, because his name pronounced like clock in Mandarin Chinese. Therefore, we like to remind each other in a joking way that you better do everything in a clockwise way. If you go counterclockwise, you'll be in trouble. And the other one is a dog, a Shiba Inu, to work as the spokesperson for the government to communicate policy with the public. Since May this year, the world mainstream medias have started reporting Taiwan's performance in epidemic prevention as the best in the world. These reports were mainly about how Taiwanese not only are able to go to work and classes as usual during the pandemic, but also are able to do talk shows and play baseball games. The famous YouTuber even posted a short clip on his Facebook fan page named Nas Daily, indicating that Taiwan should be recognized as a coronavirus hero. Before I turn to talk about CJCU epidemic prevention measures, let me use some time to quickly introduce CJCU. Founded in 1993, CJCU is now 26 years old. Currently, there are almost 650 faculties, and the student population reached 8,600. CJCU is a comprehensive university with 5 colleges, 5 schools, 5 education centers, and 13 research centers. CJCU is located in a convenient site. We're the only university in Taiwan which has a train station at the campus. And in 2019, CJCU has been rated as a 4-star university in QS star rating system. For the passing years, we've been devoted a lot of efforts on turning CJCU to a world Christian university and developing CJCU as a leading university with social responsibility. In 2018, we received the Education Reward in National Sustainable Development Awards, and we're the only university to win the Taiwan Corporate Sustainability Awards. And in 2019, we also ranked 177th in Green Matthew World universities. In 2020, because of our efforts on the restoration of Aran River ecology, we won the University Social Responsibility Awards in Human Nature Synergism category from nearly 100 entries. We're also proud of our World Prize beer, CJCU Brown Sugar Beer. This beer won the world's best winner and Taiwan winner in World Beer Awards in 2018 to gain the recognition both locally and worldwide. Besides, CJCU has a strong drum program, working with UCTS, one of our partners in Sarawak, Malaysia. We launched our UAV Center in 2018, and currently, CJCU is the only drone flight license issue institution in Southern Taiwan. CJCU therefore was ranked as one of the top 30 private universities in Taiwan by Global View Monthly, which is the media with strong social influence and public credibility in Taiwan. So we sincerely hope to invite anyone who is interested in CJCU to come and visit us. If international mobility becomes more and more possible, you will be able to see and enjoy everything I just introduced to you, especially the beer. You should never miss. Okay, coming back to the COVID-19 epidemic in the campus, while schools are being shut down in the countries across the world, Taiwan is one of the few countries that still make people anything wrong? Okay.
No, go ahead.
I'll
Go
keep
ahead.
going. No, okay. Taiwan is one of the few countries that still make people live normally and school open as usual based on the good COVID-19 containing measures. At the beginning of the epidemic, the MOE of Taiwan sent guidelines to schools to instruct the prevention measures. MOE indicated that if there is one confirmed case happened, all face-to-face classes taught or attended by that person must be immediately suspended for 2 weeks and delivered online. If 2 or more people are tested positive at the same institution, all face-to-face classes at the institution or particular campus must be suspended for 2 weeks and delivered online. Therefore, in order not to make the epidemic happen on the campus, we are very careful to fight against the virus. Everyone needs to register before entering the campus and take the temperature when getting in and sterilize classroom before and after using them. CJ quickly respond to the COVID-19 containment by incorporating with the smart technology and developing the digital temperature pass through CJCU line chatbot, HeyStripe. This line chatbot could also help check the current stocks of the mask in the nearby pharmacy and offer the online system for students to report and monitor their health condition. In the photo, we rearranged the dining spaces at the campus and put signs on the floor to remind students to maintain appropriate social distance. We have moved part of the courses online for those CJCU students who cannot enter Taiwan or return to Taiwan before we close the border. And we've also integrated technology to the school activities. Working with our overseas partners, we held online lectures for students of both institutions. We also use internet to hold our staff training sections and school committee meetings to prevent cluster infection. We even moved the annual physical student recruitment information section to online streaming one with a famous YouTuber, Nick in Taiwan, who is also one of our CJCU students, and together with the VTuber, Ella, the figure, as you could see in the top right-hand side photos, who was co-created by CJCU School of Information and Design and our industrial partner in Japan, Kadokawa International Entertainment. We successfully held 5 online streaming sections to promote CJCU and interact with potential students and parents. We're now, okay. The plan every higher education institution have prepared for the semester has become infeasible because of the COVID-19. Although we try hard to cope with this change by offering online learning to prevent the discontinuity of the education students will receive, questions regarding this distance learning remains unanswered, such as how to assure the qualification of the faculty offering distance learning program, and how to assure the quality of the online education under the emergency, etc. Another challenge related to online learning is that how to make up for the lags in this mode of learning, such as student-student or student-faculty interactions and communication, and the development of social relationships. We need to spend more time further explore the answer to these questions. Besides the international mobility has been stopped because of the pandemic, and we have no idea when it will resume. How to achieve the goal of higher education internationalization under this situation becomes one of the challenges to universities as well. Most importantly, how to keep the organization flexible to adapt to new worldwide change like this pandemic will become the core task for every higher education institution post-COVID-19. In time of crisis, we should also see the opportunities brought by it. I personally think that we should strengthen the collaboration, especially with international partners, for the shared future of higher education. And at the same time, we should also use our creativity, working together and look for innovative methods to solve problems and take the challenges together. This is a short brief of the situation in Taiwan and some of the comments from my perspective. I love to answer any questions in the Q&A and discussion time later. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Minju Lee from CJC Universities, Taiwan. It was nice to see the campus and know about the university. Hopefully, a day will come, we will be visiting your university. It was a nice presentation. Thanks a lot. Our next speaker is Mr. Hang Trong from University of Newcastle, Australia. So mic is over to Professor Hang Trong from Australia, please.
Thank you, Professor Galani, and thanks, Mandy, for the opportunity here. Good evening from Australia. And so before I get into the discussion of this topic, I'm gonna briefly go over the a little bit background regarding the city and the university, because it's important, because it will provide you context on why and how the way that we are managing this pandemic. So Newcastle, Newcastle is about 2 hours north of Sydney by car. It's a population of around 500,000 people. And the University of Newcastle is the only university in the city. So the connection between the university and the city is very strong. So what we do, we have to take into consideration of the community, because the community has a lot of say in what the university does as well. At Newcastle, we have nearly 38,000 students, of which nearly 8,000 students are international students. So as of today, we have many international students who are stuck offshore, who are not able to join us in Australia. We have 6 campuses, 5 in Australia and 1 in Singapore. I'm going to recap a little bit when the virus first broke out. So when it first hit, it really impacted our students from China, because in January, after the Lunar New Year, students were supposed to come back to Australia to join us for our semester 1. However, they couldn't come. So we had thousands of Chinese students who were stuck in China. So at that point, we had to get some of our classes online for our students stuck in China. And then later on, it became a global impact. Then the borders was closed to everybody else. And also then the campuses shut down. And then so domestic students and international students had to study online. And as for the staff, all of us had to work from home. Then around June, we eased out of lockdown, where staff came back to campus. And just last week, which is the start of our semester 2, we are resuming face-to-face teaching on campus, which has been very, very exciting which has been a long, long time coming. So when the pandemic first hit the university, what we did was we set up 2 groups. One was the we call COVID-19 critical incident group. And that group would update and would decide on the actions that the university would take as a whole. And the group met on a daily basis, and then of course later on they met on a weekly basis. And then we set up another group, which is the what we call the COVID-19 comms working group, because communication is key. When the pandemic first started, I'm sure within your country as well, there were lots of rumors, there were lots of false information. So we wanted to dictate the narrative. So that's why when the critical incident group, when they had any action, it would have been released by or announced by the comms group. As I mentioned before, communication is key because there were lots of false information and rumors out there. So the university, we set up a COVID-19 page, and then this page is updated when there are new information. So we refer to this page as the only source of truth. So this page we divide into 3 categories. It's information for students, it's information for staff, and of course, as I mentioned at the onset, we have the information for community, because the community plays a big part with this institution. So students can come onto here to find out what's going on with classes, how we deliver classes. Staff can come onto here to find out what's going on around the campus. And then it also has information that directs the viewers to the health and safety from the government, from immigration or home affairs as well. And when the pandemic hit, and especially during lockdown, what we realized was, yeah, the many businesses closed down, and that had a huge impact on our students, domestic and international, because they didn't have jobs. They were laid off. They were stood down because businesses were not opening. So many of them had challenges. They could even pay for food. They had problem paying the rent. So what the university did was we set a hardship fund. We call for donation, and then this is where students can apply for hardship fund to help them ride over throughout the hardship that they have, you know, to help them get food, to help them pay for rent, to make ends meet, etc., just to ride out the pandemic. Also, another important point is staff welfare. It's not only physical welfare, but also mental welfare. So, what has this pandemic? What impact does it have on the workforce at the university? Because we were all working at one point, and then we all had to go home, work from home. So there were technical issues. Do we have enough sufficient equipment at home? how do we log on from home, and then security, and then also there's teaching and learning online, staying healthy both physically and mentally. And then, of course, when we ease back into the office, and then that also changed as well. And so, as I mentioned, last week was the start of our semester 2, and we were very extremely glad that the campus has resumed face-to-face delivery of classes. So this is how we are managing social distancing. So Callahan, which is in Newcastle, which is our main campus, as you can see here, any classes of 100 or above, it will be online. Orimba, which is another of our campus, it also has a similar guideline. We're in the second week of this, and then we will see how it progresses. And in every room of our campus, we have we posted all of these notices. If you notice here, we have a rule of 4 square meters per person. This guideline was not set by the university, but was set by the New South Wales Health. So they set these guidelines. So each room, we were able to set a limit of number of people in that room. So then people would know that when that room, they would know that they have to keep social distancing, and then there's a maximum capacity per room. Also, at the start of the semester 2 last week, we have around 50 who we call social distancing champions. So they would walk around our campus to ensure that students or whoever they are adhering to the social distancing rules and guidelines, because sometimes people forget. And as of course, there's the general health and safety consideration for teaching and learning. So I just took the title of the guideline, but as you can see here is page 1 of 11. So there's 11 pages of guidelines that we have set to how to practice safety, health and safety in labs, in classrooms, in teaching facilities, what happens when students or staff get sick, and what to do with all that. So to summarize, when the pandemic hit, our response was we coordinated a response, which was the critical incident group and also the comms working group. Communication was key. We had notices, announcements, updates from the university, constant updates to the community, to students, to staff, to all stakeholders. We set up the hardship fund because of the student welfare to help them get through this difficult period, and we had support for staff welfare, both physical and mental health. And then, of course, when the campus resumed, we had health and safety guidelines for everybody. And that's all from me. And I love to take any questions later on if you have any. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Han Trong from Newcastle University, Australia. Our next speaker is the last speaker of the webinar, Professor Ponchai Mongkhonvanit from Siam University, Thailand. The mic is with you, Prof. Ponchai.
Hello, everybody. First of all, I'd like to welcome all of you from Thailand. In Thailand, right now, the situation with the pandemic is improving because we have more than 60 days without the local contact, which means that we still have some people that been infected by COVID-19, but all of them came from some country and also under quarantine. So during the pandemic time, I think that we have been lockdown from like March, April, and May. During that time, we cannot teach face-to-face. So everything has to be online. But the teaching and learning is still going on. So it means that we will still, during that time, we still use the same academic calendar, but just change the mode of teaching and learning from face-to-face to online. And during that time, I think that it's rather emergency because we have only like a week to transform the teaching and learning. But as the time goes by, I think that Thai higher education has learned a lot. And this time, I also like to touch a little bit about our university. Siam University is like a comprehensive university, and we have about 12,000 students. And we also offer course from health science, science and technology, and social science. And then during the pandemic time, I think that we also, the first thing is we trying to focus on the safety of the campus community. So we encourage every member of the campus to do the social distancing, to wear the mask, but the more important is that we trying to make sure that our students and our staff also looking outward rather than inward. It means that we try to have the activities to help the other people, such as, since our campus is not far away from BTS and MRT station, so we also trying to go to BTS and MRT and distribute face masks and distributed sanitizer for the passenger as well. So I mean, I also like to say that during that time, we do two things. One thing is that to try our best to accommodate the member of our university with the mindset to think about the other rather than thinking within ourselves. And secondly, we also think that it's also our opportunity to practice our online higher education, because in the past we're talking about online higher education, but we never practice. So right now is the time to practice. It means that all of 12,000 students have to go online, and it's rather emergency, I have to admit. But we also trying to do our best in a very short time. We also buy the Microsoft Teams and distribute it for free to every student and every staff. And we also setting up an academy to help the staff to teach online. And then we also trying to even make sure that we also have some kind of help desk to help them. So this is the second thing that we have done. The third thing that we have done is that we also, after the 3 months of the lockdown, then it's a stage that we can use in the mixed mode, both face-to-face and also online education. In this mixed mode, it's during our summer session. I mean, our second semester after March, we use almost completely online. But during the summer session, since the situation is better, I mean, during June, July, we also use the mixed mode. When we use the mixed mode, I think that we also have found that some students still prefer to have online, because like I also interviewed one of the students, they told us that if they have to come to the university, they need at least 1 hour for going to the bathroom and then to the transportation. But if they use online, they need only like 10 to 15 minutes. So I think that we also have learned how to do online education in the hard way, but I think that is also rather effective. And when we come to the third step is that right now, after June and July, we also have realized that the COVID-19 will have a lot of effect on our economy, even the COVID itself, in terms of health. I think that our government and our people can almost resolve that kind of problem, but the economic problem is still with us. So we're thinking about how to reskill the people, how to reskill our graduates. So this will be our new question. And I think that we also think that our tourism industry, as you know, Thailand is famous for tourism. But right now, we have the tourism industry that we have almost 0 tourists. So we expect to have the people that have effect from COVID-19, lost their job, about 1 million people in tourist industry, about 2 or 3 million in retail industry, and about 1 million in construction. So right now, it's also the task of the university to do the reskill, short course, and also the new kind of bachelor degree. So we also trying to have the new content that is can help to reskill this kind of people. So the third point is that we have to do the reskill, and we call it a new kind of curriculum. We're trying to instill the the knowledge about digitalization, the knowledge about AI and IT to students in various disciplines. And also the short course for the one who has been laid off and like to change their job. And also the new curriculum have to rethink and also changing a lot of curriculum. So we can say that the second thing is to have to develop the curriculum that can reskill our student and graduate. And we also have got some grant from our government in doing so. And the fourth thing is that we also thinking about Thailand in the future. Since when we learn more about online education, we also have found that we can do something easier, such as if we can have like the report, the review of the student project. It's easier to do international review, because in the past we also just thinking about that we have to invite people to come and to travel. But right now, with this kind of skill, we also think that we can even increase the degree of internationalization after the COVID. So when we think about this, we also thinking whether it is possible that Thailand also like to become the higher education hub in this region of the world, because of our geographical location, because of our skill that we learn from this kind of situation. And we also think that if we like to do that, we have to open our system. I mean, frankly speaking, in terms of content, in some area we can do the content well. In some area we might have the problem that we also like to open and invite the people from many countries in order to do the teaching and learning in our country. So the next step, we are also thinking that if it's possible to move Thailand forward to become one of the international higher education hubs in this region, in order to help the people in many countries, such as if we have someone from China who like to do the international education, and we also have some professor from the US and from Europe that like to teach, like to contribute. Probably we also can try to have ourselves as a center. So this is 4 points that I like to mention. That the first thing is about the impact from the COVID. The second thing is what we learn about online education. And the third thing is that how can we help our people to reskill and then to find a new job. And the fourth thing is that can we move on to be to have more degree of internationalization. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Bonshai from Siam University in Thailand. He was sharing about their experience, their planning, and thanks a lot, Prof. It was nice to hear all your experiences. Now we move on to moderated panel discussion. All the panelists are here. We will invite Mandy Mock to join us, and then we will be discussing some of the questions which are asked. We have got 6 questions. The first question is how COVID-19 is going to decline, whether no vaccine is still seek out for its cure. Mr. Muhammad Ehsan Javed is asking that is there any vaccination in your countries which is being tried, because we saw that some of the Chinese companies are trying, they are having their 3rd phase trials for vaccination. So is there any trial in your country? Can the panelists speak about it one by one, please?
Yeah, I will start out by telling the situation in Korea. Since Korea was one of the first countries that was hit after China, there has been a lot of research in the early stages. But I believe that developing a vaccine and also testing on humans has really taken time. So we expect by the end of this year, there will be some kind of vaccine. And for that to be produced and widely spread within Korea, and if possible with other countries, generally the scientists and paramedics are talking about it middle of next year.
Thank you. What about Australia, Prof. Hang Tong?
So in the, I think, stage 3 of human trial in Queensland, and they're expecting to get results in September or later. And then if that works, then yeah, we'll definitely have a vaccine in Australia.
That's great. What about Thailand, Prof?
Yes, I think that in Thailand, what I have heard is that they have tried with the monkey successfully, and right now they start trying with the people. I think that it will be more than 6 months. If everything is success, then we can have the vaccine. But we expect that there will be the vaccine from other countries before. So in case if we can, no other country can develop the vaccine. If you wait for Thailand, it have to be more than 6, but probably between 6 to 8 months. But so far, I think that our development process has gone rather well with the monkey, and then right now start with the people. But it would take at least 6 to 8 months after this.
What about Taiwan, Lee? Thank you.
Mute. Unmute.
So you're not Taiwan.
Okay. Basically, Taiwan is kind of in the same stage of as other countries are. So we're in the development of the vaccine, of course. And I actually personally have no idea whether the vaccine we're developing is being on the human trial or not. But we all waiting for that. And I don't know if we could, get it like in 6 months. I guess should probably will wait longer if we want a very stable vaccine can be used widespreadly. Yes.
Thank you very much. It means everybody in the world will be ready in next 6 to 8 months at least. Till March, we will have something to call it as vaccine, and trial will be carried on, and hopefully we will be able to save the humanity from this dangerous disease. The next question is from our Korean speaker. Mr. Khalid Ghaznavi has asked how setting will be made in classroom during lectures in Korea as the institutions open there.
I think the
Professor.
situation with the classes layout will really differ from the colleges. For classrooms who have movable tables and chairs, I believe that they will be spread out as far as possible within the room. For classrooms who have fixed seats, I believe that they will be skipping one on your left, one on your right, back and in front, and try to do the distancing on that. For experimental classes, I believe that they will not only be wearing masks, but they will be also wearing face shields, goggles, and also a rubber glove. Okay, and for areas of performing arts, then especially for music, they have to really speak out, sing loudly. There will be protection shields between the students and also with the professors. And for classes like in fine arts, I believe that they will just really focus on painting than speaking with each other. So it really depends on what classes that you'll be attending. So the final decision will be made by the professors with the confirmation from the deans of each colleges.
Thank you very much. Professor Lee, can you answer the question of Dr. Ahmed Raza? He's asking that how is COVID-19 controlled, and is your country in lockdown? What is the status?
Oh, the Taiwan, we never really have a lockdown here in Taiwan. We're lucky. And because the border protection, well, our officials doing a good job on the border protection. So we have a very stricter restrictions when foreign people or even Taiwanese people who would like to enter into Taiwan. So with this border restriction, we kind of feel safe inside the country. Yeah, so far there's no lockdown in Taiwan.
Thank you very much. It was nice to hear that there was no lockdown and life was smooth. So next question is from Professor Hang Trong from Newcastle University, Australia. Sir, Professor Asif Hanif, who is a biostatistician, is asking that how to improve student-teacher interaction and improvement of students' learning and assessment in your experience, in your settings.
So could you just repeat that again?
He is asking how to improve student-teacher interaction on online courses, because there is lack of interaction in most of the online lecturing, and how we can improve the learning and assessment if we are going to have another semester of online lecturing.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, online learning it's similar to MOOC. It's when courses or classes have been online, and then you download and then you learn. I think what we're going through now is called remote learning. It's when academic delivers something, and then the students are attending it preferably live, simultaneously wherever they are. For us, it's not only the delivery of the content by academics, but there's also group work. So we have used technology where students get together to do group work. Also, there's a tutorial being done online as well. So it goes well beyond just the delivery of content. And I think as we progress, everyone in the world is perfecting this. Maybe later we really can deliver most classes remotely.
Thank you. Thank you very much. The next question is from a speaker from Thailand,
Okay.
Professor Ponchai. One of the attendees is Zahdi Al-Din, is asking that how was the student exchange affected during pandemic, and do you think it will keep on affected during next 2 semesters? How your university is going to deal with this issue? He's asking about student exchange, foreign student exchange.
Okay, thank you very much for the question. I think that for the student exchange, right now it has been effect. As I told you that we use the same academic calendar, but somehow we have to have some modification, such as for student exchange, we ask them if they still like to study with us. We also can deliver the course online. And then we also have some kind of agreement with some country that they have to come to Thailand and to do like cooperative education or some kind of internship. We also try to switch that probably they can do the internship in their own country. So I think that it has been effect, but we also will discuss whether they still willing to do online education. And then I think that if they come to Thailand, I think that there are also the possibility that they have to be in here and then to be quarantined for 14 days, because we have 14 days for every country in order to be safe. So if they are willing to do the quarantine, and during the quarantine, they can study online, but we will reserve the seat in the class for them once they finish the quarantine. So our principle is that we're trying to stick on the academic calendar, but try to have a mixed mode of delivery. So I think that that's the effect. We also have the colleagues from Myanmar that we like to deliver something online instead of having come to Thailand, and they also asking for some kind of fees reduction, which we also understand, and then also trying to accommodate as we can. So I think that if you're talking about the student exchange in the normal mode, yes, it has been affected a lot, because normally every semester we will have 500 to 600 students, and then for this coming semester, I think most of them cannot come in person. So we have to find other way. But I think that this is also the learning experience. We try to keep relationship as we can, but
Thank you, Prof.
trying to find the better mode and then to discuss. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next question is to me. Somebody is asking that what are the measures and precautions will University of Lahore be taking when the university is open? The information we have got now is that the government of Punjab has decided to have their meeting on 7th of August. And then they will finalize either they are opening the university in single go on 15th of September, or they will be not 7th of August, it will be 7th of September. And then they will decide either they open it in one go or in 2 phases. If it is in 2 phases, the first phase will be 15th September. The second will be 30th September. Obviously, there have been SOPs which will be followed in all the higher education and in secondary education, in schools everywhere in the country. So once it is there, it will be announced. The last question is that from Muhammad Burhan. He is asking that is only medication is the treatment, or the COVID patients can have physical therapy. So I believe if the patient survives, can have need of rehabilitation. In some of the cases, it depends what are the things which are required. If it is the chest which is if it is a chest which is involved, obviously there will be physiotherapy. And in the chat, one of our friend who is associate dean with us, Professor Dr. Ishfaq, has given reply to this question, that how physical therapy is going to cover up. Now at the end, there are, let me see if there is any other question. If we can take it as last question. Question answer mein nahi aap. His question is that we have noticed that there is huge rise of corona cases in Australia. Recently, even Melbourne was declared as area of crisis. What is that so? Where as no or even very limited cases in New Zealand? My question is from Sir Hung Trong. So it was not, I was not able to see here. He is asking that they heard that after opening universities, there was rise in Australia. So how it is being managed?
Yeah, so the rise, or the what we call the second wave, has been in Victoria, and I think today, 19 people died from Victoria, and so the country, because we have different states and territories, Victoria is pretty much closed off. So people in Victoria can no longer travel outside of Victoria, and most people out of Victoria, such as myself, I'm in New South Wales, we cannot go into Victoria until it is off. And regarding New Zealand, I think their tactic back then was go hard, go fast. I'll give you an example. So when we had our version of a lockdown, we can still get takeaway from restaurants. In New Zealand, that was not even possible. So they went really, it was quite strict. And then I think that's how they've been able to contain it quite quickly. And yeah, they've done really well. They haven't had any cases for a long, long time.
Thank you very much. With this, we finish the moderated panel discussion and question answers. At the end, I would like to request Ms. Mandy Mock, the CEO of AppliedHE, to give her closing remarks. The mic is to you, Mandy Mock.
Thank you. Right, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you everyone for the very insightful presentations and questions. I've learned a lot, and I hope the same is true for you. I'd like to express my deep appreciation to our wonderful speakers for their time and contribution, and also to you, our participants, for joining us for the AppliedHE Exchange Pakistan. I'd like to thank our hosting partner, the University of Lahore, for their valuable support as well. Well, this marks the end of this particular webinar, with many more events planned. On the 19th of August at 6 p.m. Pakistan time, we will be hosting session 3 of the Fireside Chat series. The topic of session 3 is Inclusiveness on Campus, Policy and Good Practices. The Fireside Chats are a discussion-focused webinar series that aim to bring a globally diverse group of experts to weigh in on an important current topic. It's designed to be cozy, relaxed, engaging, and at the same time serious, fun, provocative, thought-provoking, and blue sky. Mrs. Winnie Ely, partner of Education Insight from UK, is our moderator, and we have 4 very distinguished speakers. And they are Ms. Karen Fisher from the Chronicle of Higher Education in the US, Professor Pauline Strahan from the Singapore Management University, Ms. Louise Govert from the University of the West of England, and Mr. Aaron Duck, a senior marketing and communications consultant based in Australia. The fireside chat is held once a month on every third Wednesday of the month at 6 p.m. Pakistan time or 9 p.m. Singapore time. So be sure to mark the date and time in your diary for the next fireside chat, 19th of August. This slide shows you the future dates for our series of fireside chat, and it will go on till the end of the year. Registration is now open for session 3, which is scheduled on the 19th of August, so please look out for our email list. Aside from the fireside chat, we also have the Squaring the Circle debate, which is a monthly webinar held on every first Wednesday of the month. Led by our legendary debate master, Dr. Kevin Downing from the City University of Hong Kong, the Squaring the Circle debate forces our debaters to take side on a current and often controversial issue. Designed to keep you informed, open-minded, and entertained with plenty of audience participation, the SCD is not to be missed. The next SCD will take place on 2nd of September with a motion, Higher Education Collaboration Can Heal Geopolitical Divides. And our passionate proposers are Dr. Janet Ilver, Director and Founder of Education Insight from the UK, Professor Perry Hobson, Pro Vice Chancellor for Engagement at Sunway University, Malaysia, and our awesome opposers are Ms. Dian Ekowati, Head of Global Engagement from Universitas Airlangga, Indonesia, and Professor Sandip Gopalan, Vice Chancellor from Piedmont International University from the US. Don't miss the next SCD on 2nd of September at 6 p.m. Pakistan time, which is 9 p.m. in Singapore. As mentioned, Squaring the Circle debate is always on the first Wednesday of every month till the end of the year. And the next one, episode 3, is on the 2nd of September with a motion, Higher Education Collaboration Can Heal Geopolitical Divides. So do note them down in your diary, 2nd of September. This is the first of its kind. I don't think there has ever been such a diversified event where we have 3 higher education consortia coming together from 3 different parts of the world: Asia, North America, and Europe. AppliedHE Higher Education Consortia is scheduled for the 9th of September. This event will focus on the role of higher education consortia during a pandemic. So if you're involved or interested in consortia, be sure to attend this very special edition. And our speakers are none other than the leaders of the respective consortia itself. We have Professor from Banit, whom you've just heard. He's the president of the Asia Cooperation Dialogue University Network Consortium. Professor Marek Kreglivsky, president of the Compostela Group of Universities, and Mr. Sean Manley Casimir, executive director of CONAHAC, Consortium for North American Higher Education Collaboration. Our guest speaker is Professor Moritz van Rooyen, rector at the University of Applied Sciences Europe, and moderating the event is Professor Judith Lemmy, managing director of JL Education Consultants UK. AppliedHE Xchange Higher Education Consortia will take place on Monday, 9th of September at 6 p.m. Pakistan time, and that is 9 p.m. in Singapore. And we have one more special webinar before the year is up, and this is excluding all the SCDs and fireside chats. So if you want to learn more about the innovations taking place in skills-based education, join our inaugural AppliedHE Xchange Professional Higher Education on the 22nd and 23rd of September at our usual time slot of 6 p.m. Pakistan or 9 p.m. Singapore time. This special 2-part webinar will address the question of the digitization of skills-based education with a policy and practitioner perspective. Speakers who have already accepted our invitation include Dr. Janaka Jayalath of the Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission from Sri Lanka, Professor Shyama Majunda of UNESCO Univoc, Germany, Professor Raha Abdul Rahim of University Technical Malaysia or UTEM, Dr. Conrad Inigo Jr. of Papacoa in the Philippines, and Ms. Grace Titi from the Ramogi Institute of Advanced Technology from Kenya. The moderator will be our very charming Mrs. Rini Ili, who's also the moderator for our series of fireside chats. And do not worry if you don't remember all the dates. We'll be sending you our weekly emailers, or you can visit our website, AppliedHE.com. In the meantime, do check out our AppliedHE Extra news website, where you can submit your institution's news and press releases weekly. I have a piece of good news to share if you have not heard about it yet. We are pleased to announce that AppliedHE Extra News is now indexed by Google News. This means our readership is growing rapidly, and we can now truly promote you on the global stage and at no charge at all. This is great news for both readers and institutions who publish news via the AppliedHE online news platform. So for readers, it will enable them to receive all the latest news from their favorite news sources in one place. And for institutions that submit news, your stories will reach a much wider audience. Google News is often used by professionals, researchers, and decision makers to monitor or find news about specific topics and institutions. Therefore, by submitting news stories to AppliedHE Extra, institutions are guaranteed to reach those targeted audience. So please send us your extraordinary news now. Also take a look at our AppliedHE Job Ready rating. The new rating system emphasizes teaching and learning, graduate skills, employability, and interaction with industry. The rating is also non-prescriptive and can be applied to different types of institutions across different sectors, from full-fledged research universities to specialized institutions. Please drop us a line if you would like to learn more about the Job Ready ratings and how it can translate into affordable strategies for global branding and marketing. You can also find some preliminary rating results on our website. And finally, we invite you to submit information about your institution's online degree programs, as we plan to soon launch AppliedHE Online Ready, an authoritative information portal about high-quality online degrees around the world. This will enable you to promote your online degree courses in any language and on the global stage. Again, this is at no charge at all. So please send your information of your online course degrees to Peter Stack at ps@appliedhe.com. And last but not least, as you know, we are the new kid on the block, and we're very grateful for all the support that we can get, which is why I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge once again all our very supportive webinar partners: City University of Hong Kong, Education Insight UK, Universitas Erlangga of Indonesia, Universitas Hasanuddin also of Indonesia, and the University of Lahore. A big thank you for the valuable support given to AppliedHE.
Thank you very much.
Right? So thanks very much, everyone. However, the evening is not over yet, so please do not leave the chat room. We want to experiment a networking atmosphere that is as creative and as close as we can get to a physical networking environment. We're going to open the room now so we can all take a Wi-Fi together. We can chat with one another with the chat function. Just pretend you're in the room together, use your imagination. So please be sure to turn on your cameras. We'll play some music, have a drink, relax, and the room is all yours. Of course, you're free to leave whenever you want, but we hope you stay to meet all your friends. Have fun. So I will now hand you over to Peter, who will organize the Wi-Fi. Over to you, Peter.
Hi, thank you so much. So what we're going to do is try and make everybody panelists. So please turn. We have some people turning on. I think some of our speakers have had meetings and work and dinner and all those things to get to. Very good. Yes, and if you have your cup of tea ready, then enjoy your cup of tea. Okay, we'll see how. Yeah, now it's finally working a bit better. You can't hear any of my music, right? I don't know how to fix it. I'll try that again in a minute. All right, for some of the participants who turned on their camera, please, how did you think it was? What was your most important takeaway? Please unmute yourself. Let us know.
Anybody would like to say hi? Don't be shy.
Hi, this is Pacific One. This is from Pakistan.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, I heard somebody else. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
So Pakistan universities, I think Professor Gilami told us already, they're opening mid-August, right? So things will be more or less back to normal maybe by September, if things go a little bit well.
15 September.
Ah, okay. So got quite a while to wait.
When the campus will be open? 15th of September.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, all the brave people who are turning on their cameras. If you don't want to join on camera, that's fine. We will, yeah, we'll see how this
Don't
goes.
cry, we want a picture of you.
Yeah. Okay, I will smile. By the way, I'd like to ask about India, whether you also still have the domestic flight to fly from one place to another in India, like in Lahore. You can fly domestically.
They're in
We have.
Pakistan, Professor Poncha.
Huh?
We have domestic flights. We can fly.
Okay. And then you also have like social distancing in the airplane as well.
Yeah, in aeroplanes we have, but not in the markets.
Yeah, it's a challenge.
In Thailand right now we also can travel, but only in the domestic. But if we like to do the international, we also probably I think that we also need some kind of permission. But there will be more and more people from outside coming to Thailand now. But they also subject to 14 days quarantine.
Wow, great to see all of you.
I've got about 100 to go.
Hello and good evening, everyone. I'm from Lahore Afro-Asian Institute. I'm doing my job as lecturer, and it was amazing session that I've heard and lots of information I have seen through here, and it is very informative. Congratulations to all the panelists and all the participants who made this session successful.
Thank you.
Especially Sir
Thank you.
Gilani. Sir, you are the mentor for me as well.
Thank you, Tosil. Thank you.
Sir, this is Jawad.
Thank you. We're also looking forward to welcome you to Thailand if after the COVID.
Okay, we're kind of stuck halfway. I cannot promote any more panelists, and I'm still not done. So anyway, thank you very much. We'll keep trying this.
Do you mind the Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I will, and we can also get later on because this is being broadcast there. So we will touch it up, but it's very tricky with such a huge webinar to pull this up. But thank you very much for joining us. I think you can see 4 pages if you scroll through.
5 pages actually.
So I suggest we just leave it here. I'm very sorry if some of you, I couldn't be promoted to panelist because the software just doesn't allow us to have more than 100 panelists. So it's very disappointing, isn't it? So very sorry about that. Yeah, but anybody else want to make any comments since you're here?
Yeah, if you can hear me, I would like to make comments. It's me, Abdul Rahman.
Sure, go ahead.
I'm working as lecturer in Department of English at AppliedHE Institute, Lahore. It was really an informative seminar, and we got to learn a lot about COVID-19. And I would like to thank Professor Gilani for arranging such a wonderful webinar. It was very an informative session.
Okay, thank you so much. It was a bit hard to hear, but wonderful that you could join us. All right. I think, shall we leave it here? Andy, since we're already half an hour past our original ending time. And I think some people need to get to dinner and or to work and things like that, unfortunately. So on behalf of AppliedHE, thank you so much for joining us all the way from Pakistan and all around the world. Thank you very much to the speakers who prepared all these wonderful presentations, for Professor Gilani for his leadership of the moderation, and for so many people for joining. This is the best attended webinar in the history of AppliedHE. All thanks to Pakistan, so thank you very much for that. I think we will end it here. Keep watching your emailers, visit us on appliedhe.com, and see you very soon at the next event. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, 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 bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.